Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video, and today we're going to be talking about the triplets. Actually, it's just twins. Uh, Basically, two of the same reels in different ratios, and this one I use for casting. It is a Shimano Calcutta Conquest. Kind of different in function with Ocea Conquest, and I'm gonna explain what the differences are. But before that, if you are just new to the channel, checking out this video, thanks so much for joining us. This channel talks about the hows and whys of fishing. I cover everything from big game, ultralight, everything in between, including fly fishing. Today we're talking about these reels. There's one specific for casting and two specific for jigging. And we're talking about the Shimano Ocea Conquest, which are these two, and this one is the Calcutta Conquest, which I have been using for quite a few years now. Okay, before anything else, the whole reason why I have this reel, or these reels, these two, is because of this one. This was bought at around 2015 when it was released, and these were not available yet. I bought this for casting, and the whole reason why I have these two, and the whole reason why I chose these two, and mind you, they're kind of older than what is available now, is because of this. Overall, it has been very reliable, and I've caught some really nice fish on this reel, which prompted me, when I had a chance, to get these two, because I knew how reliable this one is. Okay, now the main difference is that this is built for casting. As mentioned earlier, these two are built for jigging, and you can see that the spool on this one is actually kind of wider. Okay, if you compare, you see, this has a relatively wider spool than this one right here. You can see that there are ridges on the side here. Okay, and this is wide, and it doesn't have that lip. Okay, it does, but it's flush. Cast control is also kind of different with this. Okay, now if we look closely here, this doesn't have the external control, but it does have a cast control system, which we can see here. It's a centrifugal cast control system, only that you will have to adjust it from the inside, and there are no micro adjustments like this one. Again, these are jigging specific, whereas this is casting specific. Now, you would also notice that these have two different handles. This is an HG, and it comes with a single power handle. This is the power gear, which is the slower ratio reel, and it comes with a paddle handle. Okay, paddle handle with foam grips. But check this out. Look how big the difference is. Okay, this also comes with a rubber grip, while this comes with foam grips, which is kind of making it a bit lighter. Okay, now essentially, in the inside, or the guts of these three reels, are basically almost the same. This, when I bought it, was rated for freshwater and freshwater only. That's what the website says. Whereas these two are rated for saltwater use. Okay, now again, very specific for jigging. I have to say though, I've been using this on saltwater because the only freshwater we have here in the UAE is in bottles. Okay, there's no freshwater fish in here. So I almost exclusively use this for saltwater fishing. Having said that, I also have used this in freshwater in the Philippines. And look at that, it still looks new. Take care of this reel properly, which actually, you know what, maintenance of this is actually quite easy. You just wipe it down after each use, and this is after years of about I would say 6 years of use, and it still looks new, and I use it a lot. So, which again, this kind of gave me the the motivation to actually acquire these two because of how tough and how good it has been to me for the past few years. So I thought, like, hey, you know what, might as well get these two for my light jigging applications. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is a power gear, this is a high speed or an HG. Okay, so a high gear and a power gear. Why would I buy two of pretty much the same reels? Well, to tell you honestly, there's a very big difference when it comes to ratios when you're fishing, and sometimes even when you're really slowly turning this handle, it's still not slow enough, whereas this would just give you a constant slow speed, and that's what makes the difference. And most times, believe it or not, that actually spells more catch, more fish. I'm not really after more fish. What I'm after is that when the fishing is tough, you have the tool, or you have a tool to actually choose that would make or break the trip. And most times, when we go out, we can't really dictate if the fish will bite or not. But when you're faced with a very difficult situation where the fish are there, you can see them in the fish finder, but they're not biting, you could easily switch to a slower speed reel and a different technique, and this would actually make the fish bite. Okay, now we have 3 reels. This used to be my main. Okay, this is what I was using for slow jigging and tie rubber. And now, and because of this reel actually and how it performed, and I really like it, I decided to get these two. So instead of actually having just one reel, for my fast, I was only using a spinning rod, so I decided to actually add another combo to my fast jigging arsenal, and this would be it. So for fast jigging, as I mentioned, you want a slow retrieve reel, and this is why. So if this is the strike zone right here, when you're jigging with a fast reel, it will move like that and it will exit the strike zone faster, whereas with a slower reel, you'll have most of your actions in the strike zone, and it exits the strike zone slower. Okay, so quite a big difference in performance. This reels in 78 centimeters, well, this one reels in about 61, I believe. So it's relatively slower than this. Of course, it doesn't mean to say that you can't use this for fast jigging. It just kind of depends on what the fish want that day, and either you do it slower, okay, just to figure out what the fish want, or you can just grab another outfit and then see if that's what they're striking or what they want in that particular tide phase. For me, I don't like fiddling around with gear. If I have 3 rods rigged for each specific type of fishing, then it's a faster process for me. Tie rubber, a lot of people don't really use tie rubber here. There's only a small number of people, but if you haven't yet, I suggest that you do, because they're quite effective. Essentially, you just drop your lure down to the bottom, or your tie rubber, reel up, and you only have one mission. That is to find the speed that the fish respond to, and then that's it. As soon as you repeat that speed each and every single time, the fish will bite, and it's a consistent producer. So now I have 3 reels to make my system a bit more rounded. I have tie rubber, I have a fast retrieve reel for my slow jigging, and a slow retrieve reel for my fast jigging. And this is all to help me cope with different conditions that the fishing trip would throw at us. Now, of course, it doesn't mean to say that again you have to buy all 3. I'm not saying that. For me, it's just a part. It's just making my system a bit more effective for my use, okay, and much more efficient. Now, I understand that not everyone has the budget. That's A, and B. First and foremost, of course, budget. These reels are not cheap. Secondly, not everyone is kind of open to the type of fishing that is so specific. Doesn't mean to say, of course, that you won't be as effective. Okay, just for me, this is a personal preference, and this is something that I just don't want to mix and match. It's just that I feel that, especially on very difficult days and days when it matters, it's better to be prepared than to be not prepared. Okay, so that is it. These 4 reels right here, each for their specific use. I have something for casting, which I will take with me, of course, on the boat, especially here in Dubai. Some queen fish action, sometimes kings, of course. Really good casting reel, and these jigging reels, again, from my experience on this one and from my other reels, of course, it works. And yeah, so yeah, just up to you. And if you have questions, please drop them down in the comments. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. And guess what? I'll see you in the next one.